Hi, welcome to the presentation on empowering international students in a challenging sociocultural climate. My name is Tingyun Tseng. I'm a clinical fellow at the Student Counseling Service. This slide and presentation is revised from the International Student Workshop done by Dr. Vivi Hua last year. So recently, there have been a lot of global socio-political events happening, like the Armenian protests in Iran, and the brutality of Iranian government on shutting down internet. So people here might not be able to know what was going on there. So if you have family there, you also were not having any access to know what was going on. So looking at this picture, what comes into your mind? So being an international student, it's almost like you're living in a split two worlds. One is very stable, the weather is nice. The other is with thunderstorm. So one thing is about uncertainty. If something happened in your home country, since you're not there, it's hard for you to know what was going on. And about the safety of your loved ones, if the protests occur, right? And also sometimes you might feel guilty because the environment here in New York is relatively stable, and then you come here to study, live your life as usual, but people in your home country, let's say during the Turkish earthquake in 2023, right? There's a lot of loss, trauma happening there. So this might trigger certain feelings that you have as if you're from Turkey. So what are some of the impact of such events? First, it could influence the adjustment, a cultural rational process, which is that when you get exposed to different cultures, it could create the exchange of cultural practices, values, beliefs, and behaviors between these different cultural groups. Or even some of your perceptions of each other, particularly people from, let's say, your rivalry, people from the nation that's your original country considered as a rivalry, right? So think about how this might play out interpersonally on campus and off campus with all different kinds of relationship you have as international students. So here are some of the interpersonal, intercultural challenges. So this description is some daily exchanges, whether they're intentional or unintentional, that send hostile, derogatory, or negative slides and insults to the target person or group. Some of you might feel this sound familiar and know what this means. So yes, this is microaggression. Okay. So what is microaggression? In the process of negotiating the differences, in the environment, you might get bite by a mosquito, and if it's just one bite once in a while, then yeah, it's annoying, but it's not gonna kill you, right? But some people, they get mosquito bites all the time and pretty frequently, right? And with higher intensity, right? So oftentimes this could cause some significant consequences, or even this bite could end up being lethal, right? So why are we talking about mosquito bites? Yes, by mosquito bites, we meant microaggressions. You can go to YouTube and watch this 2 minutes clip. I would highly recommend to watch this clip. So think about how this microaggression can really impact you. First, it may you questions am I being overly sensitive? It could evoke some negative feelings in you, like sad feelings, anger, anxiety, worries, panic, maybe feeling of unsafe when you walk on campus, on the street. a sense of being excluded. So if like you experience microaggression, you might feel like very isolated, not belong here. It could really give a toll on your mental and physical health. Severe could be like depressive symptoms, anxiety symptoms. Physical health could be like losing appetite, some disturbances. And all this could have an impact on your academic performance if you're not feeling well, not sleeping well, not eating well, right? Imagine how that would impact your cognitive functioning. All right, so no microaggression. Here are some of the examples that you can see. You can pause here and read through them and see if like any of this have ever happened to you, and think about what were you feeling when you encountered this, and what did you do after? All right, so what can we do, as an international student? We can try to make the invisible visible. So we are trying to bring the microaggression to the forefront of the person's awareness, indicate to the person that they have said or behaved something offensive to you. So first could be name the oppressive act, right? Saying like, that's a microaggression. Or you can try to challenge the stereotype by saying something like, relax, I'm not dangerous. Don't look at me like that. Or you can try to broaden the ascribed trait. That says somebody said in front of you, oh, you're Asian, so you must be shy and quiet. You can say, like, I don't think it's an Asian thing. I know many Asians who are very outgoing. Or you can try to reverse or restate their statements. Like when I say like, oh, you speak good English. You can say, thanks, you speak good English too. Right? Another way to deal with it is like trying to disarm the microaggression. So disarm the microaggression indicates that we're trying to deflect the microaggression, communicate your disagreement to the person's action in the moment. So here's an example. Raj got selected for the fellowship because he's a minority student. Some people might express disagreement non-verbally by shaking your head. Some people might use an explanation saying like, ouch, or even like, get serious. Affirm, validate, and support your fellow friends by saying something that, oh, they deserve it because like they have a wonderful resume, a lot of good experience. You can try to state values and set limits with the other person by saying something like this, okay? Trying to disengage or remove yourself from the situation. Another way to do is really seek out support, seek outside support, right? We don't have to do everything and dealing with everything on our own. You can try to alert the leadership, report the incidents to your program, organization. You can try to develop a buddy system, which is having a friend with whom you can always check in and process these discriminatory experiences. You can process with a senior ally, find a support group, or even seek professional support, like individual psychotherapy, group therapy, or even some coach that will help, like international student success coach. So we've talked about all this like aversive experience and some negative impact on international students. So does it mean that you're doomed to be an international student? Actually, not quite. You see, you get a chance to expose to new cultural system. In the process of acculturation, you might experience some shift of your identity. You might have this accentuation of personal struggles at different times of your life. Experiencing certain struggles are more pronounced than others, right? So all these are opportunities for your own growth and expansions. So here is an exercise. I'm not going to go through it. You can practice it on your own. Okay. All right. So here are the additional resources. And here is Dr. Vivi Hua's some information. I really recommend you go to her website. There are some articles and free resources to guide and support international students. All right, here are some references. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I hope this is helpful.